Alright, so today we're going to be submitting our city, Sydney, Australia, where our slogan will be Olympics Down Under. Our city is about 4,600 square miles with a population of about 4.5 million. The main reason I think that our city should be highly considered is that our economy is strong. We in 2013 our gross regional product was $337 billion, which made it one of the larger economies in the world. Sydney has an advanced marketing economy with the strengths being in finance, manufacturing, and tourism. We also hosted the 2000 Summer Games, so we're very familiar with how things are ran and how things should be constructed. The environment in Sydney has a humid subtropical climate, so it's very warm most of the year, especially in the summers. The proximity to the ocean makes it very cool, around 61 to 64 degrees mostly all day. And Sydney is well known for their beautiful beaches. Although like Sydney may have like a very town look like Chicago, it also has the paradise look as in like a nice. These are a few pictures of Sydney.
What are we looking at here, Kevin?
This is the skyline pretty much.
This is the Opera House. I can't remember the name of it. This is, if you've ever seen Finding Nemo, I think everybody has. Everybody knows what this is. So it's great for tourists. It's great for families. It's a beautiful, clean city.
Up top would be our Olympic. This is where our Olympic Village would be held. So since we have most of our stuff there and we've had an Olympics there before, we wouldn't really have to be building much. And as I said, our economy is pretty sound. This is kind of just the whole skyline of Sydney. This here on the right is one of our beautiful beaches when athletes can get away from the city and kind of just relax. And again, here's our skyline. And Sydney is also so right when athletes come in, we're going to be doing normal immigration and like customs like that. So they're going to be needing passports. They're going to be needing regular clearances, as in, well, you need to have going through other countries. And right as athletes come through, get into Sydney, they're going to be needing buses will take them to the reception center, and where the athletes will all be registered and drug tested. That is in downtown Sydney. So, federal government will make a number of commitments also, many of which are based on constitutional responsibilities in areas such as customs and immigration.
All right, I'll be talking about security today. The OSCC will be the head of our security, and they'll be responsible for security for the entire Olympic venues, routes and transport, terminals, community policy, dignitary protection, and emergency management. So they'll basically be the head of our security, and then local government agencies, they'll continue their jobs. The normal police that are there, they'll continue to do their work and assist us in our job. Then the medical services. The medical venue manager is based in the venue operations center, and medical staff will be located everywhere, all over at every venue, every facility we have. The Renaissance Hotel is to provide our administrative support to the IOC Medical Commission, and our service will be provided 24 hours. So we'll be open to all the athletes and all the spectators and all the fans that are involved.
I'll be talking about accommodations today for athletes as well as fans. As we know that the city borders the water, so what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of the use of the cruise ships. These beautiful billion-dollar cruise ships that are just as good as any five-star hotel you can think of. Right now we're planning on using 11 of these cruise ships that hold 6,000 beds, and we would use them for athletes accommodation because they can get away from the people and everything. They have their own separate area to relax and just enjoy themselves before competitions. We also have for fans, there are 30 major hotels in the city in the downtown area, all within taxi and bus locations. also have, we're planning on having hotels and clubs and food venues in the city amp up their production with the, anticipation of all the fans coming, wanting to stay up later, want every person to really truly get the Australian feel that come to the city.
Nick, quick question. How far will those cruise ships be away from kind of that center Olympic village that you showed? Nick, you can answer that.
Well, the harbor is was one of Sydney's very old in tradition, and it goes back way in history, and so that's right at the town, the skyline, and the harbor's right there. So those cruise ships are sitting right there in the harbor.
So they'll be close to the venues?
Yes.
It'll be close enough to the venues, but far enough away to where they can kind of step back and really kind of get away from the public eye and everything.
So this will be a non-traditional Olympic village in a sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Based around,
Olympic Village in the water.
on the water, okay.
And as far as transportation goes, we have the Transportation Operations Center, which will be in like downtown area. We use one of the hotels probably as like the headquarters for it. We have the Olympic Park Railway line and 2 tracks run through the station. Excuse me. And consecutive trains can be switched to alternative tracks to further help the athletes and personnel, players, and everybody to get there as fast as they can. At the Olympic Park Station, it fits in the environment. It's a very clean, renovated, brand new railway system. So everybody, it's an enjoyable ride. You don't have to worry about going to see the rats down in the sewer or anything like that. It's very nice and clean. So that's the train station. That's one of our major ways for people to get around the city and see everything. It's relative walking distance. Excuse me. It runs through around the city to take you to different centers and all the amazing things you can see. As far as ticket packages goes, for plans, we're planning on making a sports pass, which is either an A category or B category tickets, which allows a purchaser to attend all sessions of a particular sport, including the finals. So if you wanted to go see every basketball game, you can go see every basketball game, including the final. The lower demand sports though, the pass was sold at a premium as the purchaser was guaranteed access to a seat to every session. Sports passes were available for all major sports except artistic, gymnastics, and swimming. To continue on, the term premium package describes the package A category tickets to sessions across the range of stadium and non-stadium events. So if you wanted to, fork over the bigger cash, you would pick up the premium package, you would be able to see everything that we have to offer for the games.
And going back on that, as you see in that other diagram, that the railroad goes around the whole Olympic Village, so it's not hard to be going to every venue either. So that won't be a worry for it.
I'm going to talk about technology. We're going to really use, since everybody's going to be tech savvy now these days, we're really going to put everything on an iOS or Android app. So if you miss a game or something like that, or you're not able to watch it or attend, you can just click the app and every game results is going to be just right there. We're going to have robotic cameras on the wire. So if you go to an NFL football game, you see those cameras just hovering the scene, you get an up-close view of it. We're really going to emphasize that for soccer these days, and then whatever sport that is on the field as well. Our quantum timer and our aquatics timer, it's a resolution of 1 millionth of a second, so it's 16 total timers on one thing that's perfect, accurate. So everything's just going to be on point. And then Moto Track, it's a traction performance layer set atop the backing shock absorbent. So it kind of can't use longer spikes or a spike advantage or whatnot. Everything's going to be on the same playing field, and it's more, let's say, easier on the athletes as well too. It's not pounding, consistent pounding. So if you run, get shin splints or something bad, it's going to take away from that. And for our media, we've been multi-digital channels since 2005, major networks in the city. Obviously, we're going to do Fox and everything that has the sponsorships with the Olympics already, ESPN. We have the most sophisticated and expensive media network in the world. And the Media Village International Broadcast Center, the main press center, we have all those already taken downtown. We have the one I said, like the most sophisticated graffiti and stuff there. And we're gonna do 3-minute Olympic game updates, broadcast nationally in 9 community languages. So every 3 minutes, you're gonna get an update of sports and everything that's going on. So everything's gonna be continuously running, and you're not gonna miss a beat on it.
Jordan, did you say that you hosted in 2000?
Yes.
And how much of the infrastructure that was built in 2000 will still be usable 24 years later for the 2024 games?
We'll get to that coming up in our next
Okay.
slide. We got our
Great.
stadiums and everything like that as well. 2.8 million international visitors in 2013. We spent $6 billion. I mean, that's without the Olympics there. So we're obviously having a good tourism already coming in. Everything's going good as a flow. We're ranked one of the top 15 cities in the world for tourism every year since 2000. 480,000 visitors and 275 people stayed overnight each day since in Sydney in 2012. So those numbers I think are just outstanding. $36 million in city economy per day. We're bringing in the revenue already, so it's going to cut down kind of our prices. And I mean, you can throw the Olympics in there, it's just bringing more people. It shows that we can handle people coming in and not go nuts about it. Our general sports video game run. We're going to have 300 events and 28 sports. So we're just going to have, as you can see, gymnastics, handball, hockey, shooting, softball, tennis, weightlifting, like swimming, water polo, badminton, baseball, basketball, track, volleyball. Those are just kind of some of the major sports that we're going to get. I mean, 300 events and 28 sports. I mean, it's kind of just the norm of it. And then beach volleyball.
I see baseball. Baseball's on that list. So
Yeah.
why will your committee strongly urge the IOC to add baseball back on the platform of events? Is it a sport that the locals have come to love? I mean, why baseball on your list?
Yes, they have loved it, and we already have the infrastructure for the baseball field in the Olympic Village. And so, I mean, we want to obviously utilize that facility, and so we can push onto it. We already have the facility ready, and I mean, it's a growing major sport, and it's something that has been away from the Olympics for a little bit, and we want to get it back in.
Also have perfect baseball weather too, for, I mean, most athletes, if you want to come on the show, it's a beautiful city to play baseball.
We're going to do the Paralympics as well. We're going to have 557 events in 19 sports. This is kind of some of the rundown of it. Football, 7-side, powerlifting, sailing, shooting, volleyball, cycling, and archery as well. As you can see, this is going to be a closer look at our Olympic Park Village. I'll get down to break it down a little bit for you in the next slide. One of the cool things though, if you can kind of see that little circle dome area, it's what we call our dome, and it holds like our volleyball and everything like that as well. Over the years, it's been utilized for car shows, horse events, like rodeos and stuff like that. But some of our volleyball and like basketball and stuff like that will take place in that, and then they'll move to one of our bigger facilities for like the quarterfinals and everything as well.
Could you point that out for us, Jordan, at the back of the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
So right now, it's been serving as like a convention center, but
Yeah, so I can,
They have
yeah,
concerts there, they have all kinds of things there.
it's added on to our like already convention center now as well. It's getting renovated.
this is the actual aerial photo from Sydney 2000?
No, this is 2013, so everything is
2000, okay.
everything would be as of now up to date, but everything is our ANC Stadium. This is our main basketball arena. It seats 110,000 right now, so I think that's a pretty decent sized crowd. The highest in it, I believe, was 109,000, so it's almost sold out. There was no complaints or incidents. Well, everything with our security was up to date. Our convention center this will hold our weightlifting and everything, like kind of that's what it's 3 floors, so we could have 3 separate weightlifting or something like as well going on at once or at different times. We wouldn't have to worry about overlapping. If something goes late, we can just move it to the next floor and tell people that, hey, it's going on the 2nd floor instead of the 3rd floor, sending announcements. Our aquatic center, It's 10,000 people seated, and our All Phones Arena, 21,000. Our Kinrose is our tennis area, seats 10,000. And the Dome and Expedition Complex, as I said, is 10,000. All Phones Arena was updated in 2013. Everything's been not rarely, it's been maintained and kept. Most of them have been renovated to up to date.
The ANZ Stadium, are you gonna show us right now? I was gonna ask if it has that absolute essential resource of the track.
Yeah, that's as you see, the picture that first came up, that's our, what you can see is Sydney 2000. So everything's been, up to date, but we replaced our old TVs with 3 LCD big screens, so everything's been up to date now. We got the essential track. It's gonna do our also, kind of our rugby and everything with the, and then that's our ANC Stadium, and then that's the Rosewell tennis court. This is a cool picture because it's for our canoeing. It is a built-in course that we already have built. So as you can see, the pumps and everything like that, you'll start up here, and everything, the pumps will go, and the water will just, so it's kind of like a horseshoe. And then down low would be like our rowing races and everything like that. So everything will be just combined in that little area. And then that's our 3-floor meetings, our center, convention center. Yeah.
Let's give these guys a hand. Let me ask you a question. What's your proposed budget with so many facilities already in existence? What will it still, generally speaking, cost to make this happen?
I mean, throwing any event like this, hosting any event like this, obviously it's going to be a substantial amount of money, but it's not going to be like another city where we have all the revenues, we have, it would come to this, if someone else wants another event that we can't have, we could build another one. So I mean, I don't know.
With the economy right now, we're pretty stable and, increasing data with the tourism and everything like that. I think that the stadiums from 2000, which are renovated now, in the future, I think that if the economy keeps growing, the renovation process will go pretty smoothly.
We feel pretty confident about our money situation.
And we just, between the Olympics coming out, we just got voted as 2000 was one of the best Olympics that anybody had experience-wise. I mean, obviously London had a good Olympics, was a good experience, but other than that, we were voted as one of the best Olympics in 2000. So I believe that we have the preparation and everything like that already. Most of our centers are renovated and everything. So I mean, with $3.36 billion coming in from our economy, and then sponsorships bringing billions of dollars as well, just to be a part of the Olympics, I think we're pretty set. I think it's going to be not another Sochi where we're blasting money out. I think we'll be pretty set with a kind of a lower amount of money towards what Olympics do cost.
Rob, you got the last word on why we should vote for Sydney.
You should vote for Sydney because obviously it's an amazing city. It's beautiful. A lot of tourism comes through. Our environment is very clean. We're going to use that to our advantage. Very clean environment. Keep our environment clean. We have the facility set in place, and we're just ready to host another Olympics.
Any questions from student voters? Let's give them one more hand and take a moment. First impression voting. From the student standpoint, it really comes down to who you think is second best. We assume that you're going to think yours was the best. Whose was second best? That's really what this is going to come down to. The seconds and the thirds. Rome, you have the last word. I don't know if it's going to be the best word, but we're going to find out. It needs to be the presentation that you submitted to the Dropbox on D2L. That's the one that will be evaluated. That's the one you need to be presenting today.
It's the same one, I just brought the hard.
Okay. So student voters, you know yours is the best, but who's number 2? That's really the question for students. That will make the difference in your vote. Rome, you've got the last word of this semester, and let's see if it can influence any voters here. Take it away.
Hi there, guys. We have Rome in Italy, of course, one of the greatest cities in the world. Just a little intro. Rich sports history with Rome. It goes back all the way to ancient Rome with the ancient games. We have several existing sports venues. We are the third most visited city in Europe, so we are prepared for a large number of people to come visit us. We are a major tourist attraction. And look how beautiful this is right here.
What is that? Tell us about it, Matt. You're selling your city here.
This is a picture of Rome in general. This is their main area that people hang out, and it just goes across all of Europe, just with the town itself and the city all around.
This is right by the Vatican, correct? St. Peter's Square.
Yes. When it comes to ancient Rome, we have the Colosseum, which is maybe the most popular sports attraction in the world. A birthplace for competition. Rome was, and Italy was one of the first places to ever really hold sports competitions with gladiators and chariots. We really like to promote ancient Rome itself because that's what people think of when they think of Rome. They think of the past, and we want to bring that feel in the Olympics. Our mission statement for Rome would be, we want to provide the most outstanding event for all the world to see. Our goal is to create a great atmosphere for all the athletes and fans in every aspect of the competition. Let the world see Rome. We want everybody to experience Rome, how people in Rome live. Our goal is obviously to create a great atmosphere. We want that people to be talking about this Olympics for a long time, to have Rome as one of the greatest Olympics ever. When and why? We would host the Olympics in June because you have an average temperature of 80 degrees. That's a beautiful time. Athletes, I think, would agree that that's a substantial temperature to be able to perform in. We only average 4 days of rain in June, so we wouldn't have to worry about outdoor competitions getting canceled or anything like that, really, due to weather problems. We are in the Mediterranean climatic region, so it's a warm region. We're right on the Mediterranean with lots of sunshine, so there's no reason why that wouldn't be a problem. And with June, since you also have the Olympics and Paralympics, we'd be able to host the Olympics at the beginning of June and the Paralympics towards the end of June and early July. So that's another one, so we wouldn't have to worry about problems with temperature, with it being too hot or things like that. It's a good climatic region. The city characteristics itself, it's a popular tourist city, like I had mentioned, so we wouldn't have to worry about hotels and stuff like that. The city is already used to people coming in and out and moving around. We hosted the Olympics in 1960. That seems like a long time ago, but as we'll get into later, venues and stuff like that they continuously get updated. We have many sports venues, and then just one of the characteristics is the Seven Hills and the Tiber River. That's just tourist attraction in general, so people want to come to Rome to see things like that. So why not come to Rome? When you come to Rome for the Olympics, you'll also be able to get a more tourist action as well. It won't just be all about the competition if you don't want it to be. We have other characteristics in the city for people to experience and enjoy. Our main goals would just be have great competition, clean atmosphere with adequate venues, a safe environment. Obviously, we don't want anyone to get hurt, and we want to create Olympic prestige. We want to be one of the best Olympics that people have talked about, and with just your regular goals of making sure everyone is having the greatest experience that they could possibly have. Our objectives: create sites that can benefit the future. Our venues and stuff, we'd be able to use them in the future, just like the 1960 Olympics has done, with being able to still use those venues. We want to create the same type of atmosphere. Of course, we want to have a great athlete experience. Athletes are the reason for the Olympics. People go to see the athletes, so we want to make sure that they have the right feel for the Olympics and that they get everything out of all the hard work that they put in. Of course, a fantastic fan experience, and with a city like Rome with all the tourist attractions and everything, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to go to the Olympics in Rome because of all the extras that we have. It's just, we want to have a great and safe experience for everybody. And now we'll talk about marketing.
Hi
Right, so with Marketing Rome, we have a population of over 2.5 million people. So we already have a very large market that we're working with. And you can imagine the Olympic Games being played out in an iconic city known for hosting large events both in the past and the present. You're gonna get that feel of being in just a city with so much history, so many things to do. It's gonna be a real unique experience. And with its world famous monuments and proximity to the beach, you're gonna always have something to do, whether it's watching the Olympic Games or visiting one of our many tourist attractions. So we're gonna talk about our Olympic budget. The 2012 London Games cost around 11 billion euros. For these games, we would expect our budget to only be around 13 or 14 billion euros. So we're not asking for much more than those 2012 games. A lot of this has to do with us having previously hosted the 1960 Summer Olympics. Many of the venues are still up to date and looking good and being used on a regular basis. So in the corner you have a picture of the Stadio Olimpico, which has already received renovations as recently as 2008. So many of our venues are already in place and are being kept up to date with renovations. And then the budget would be able to cover anything new that we need to build to make this a quality experience. First step to financing the Olympics would be reaching out to major sponsors. We would hope that this would cover close to 40% of the cost of the Olympics. This is going to be your Nikes, your Reeboks, Adidas, Under Armour, your Timex, Rolex, your major sponsors, your big brand name, world famous companies. We're going to reach out to them looking for sponsorship, hoping that that's going to be able to cover a lot of the budget. We'd also make available the option for general public or non-sponsorship companies to donate money, and hopefully this would be able to cover around 10% of our total costs. This is going to come from the more local businesses donating money to bring the Olympics to our city, where they're going to receive a boost in their profits because of all the increased tourism and everything. As the government, then the city would need to cover the rest of the budget with reserve money or loans. So this is a breakdown. Hopefully, if we can get the sponsorships and donations, we wouldn't have to cover as much of the budget as maybe some other cities. There's multiple sources of revenue that are going to come from hosting the Olympic Games. You have the obvious increase in tourism with all the people coming in to watch the games. You're going to spend your money and your time in the city, at the local businesses, as well as the local tourism sites. As we mentioned before, there's so many things to do. People are always going to be involved. They're going to be engaged. They're going to have things to do, whether it's watching the Olympics or just being out in the city at one of our many attractions. Sale of tickets, as well as apparel and souvenirs, will also bring in large amounts of money in revenue. So we're banking on that stuff to really help us make back that money that we invest in the Olympic Games.
All right, for some of our stadium venues, pictured here, we just have two parts of the Foro Italico. On the right is what we mentioned already, the Stadio Olimpico, and this is the Stadio de Armani with just a bunch of statues of athletes to honor the older games. So this would be a good venue for like an outdoor event like cross country to finish it. And there we would have like events like soccer or rugby.
Patrick, is the stadium, I mean, it was built in 1960. The typical capacity of an Olympic stadium is now 80,000. Does it hold that many people that would be up to today's standard? Because that is
It seats
64-year difference there, 1960 2024.
It has been renovated since then, and it seats close to 80,000.
It does, and it obviously has that essential resource of track for the track events. Okay, thank you.
But the stadium, Olympico is, it's just one of their biggest sports centers. It has, over 10 tennis courts, plus multiple show courts for major tennis events. It has an aquatic center that was used in the 2009 World Aquatics Championships, which has been renovated since then also. It also can host more indoor events like volleyball and basketball. And just spread out across Rome, there are over 100 sports centers that we would use. And not counting just the major ones, we also have university and sports venues that we would use. So in total, we would probably use approximately 70% of existing sporting centers. Many of these were built around the time of the 1960 Olympics, and since then they have been renovated more than once. This is the major aquatic center that was used in the 2009 Aquatics Championships. And like I said already, it's been renovated. There are also many numerous historical sites that we could renovate if needed, or we would just build on top of them. And like I said, universities. One of the major sports in around Rome is basketball, so there are already enough basketball courts, so we wouldn't have to build any of those.
This is actually a multi-dimensional, multi-use aquatic center. We can actually cover the pool, and they have hosted other things besides just aquatics at that arena, at that center, so we would be able to use that. Once swimming is done, we could probably transform that into a space for something else to be used.
For the security services, Rome has 4 main emergency services. Their military police, their state police, fire department, and just ambulance. And overall, Italy and just Rome has a very good police response. And if you go there, you really don't have to worry about any violent crimes. Rome is not known for violence. It's mostly known for minor crimes like pickpocketing due to all the tourism. But just around the city, there are many tips for how to avoid that. And to go along with all those postings, we would just have all our volunteers standing there to help describe people how to avoid having their pockets picked. There are also over 350,000 police force throughout Italy that we would rely on. And just from the past championships that we've hosted, the Olympics, the World Aquatics Championships, and we even have the Vatican City. So Rome is already prepared for a major event and how to protect all the tourists that would show up.
So our media, we would build a multimedia building right there where we would be able to host all the media that come in, such as NBC, ESPN, those sort of stations. Majority of everything would already be in place for them to set up, and they can just come in and set up their own equipment if they choose to. Technology-wise, we'll be sports from technology such as swim goggles with nanotechnology in them. It's like a nano in the goggles right here. It'll be able to show the participants what place they're in, also what place their competitor is in, so they can know how to pace themselves, so if they want to go for a world record or they just want to win and save energy for their races. With the automatic goalkeeper, it'll be a chip in the ball, and it'll be a magnetic field across the goalpost. So as soon as the ball would go through, the officials would be known about what they want to do. That way we wouldn't have any mishaps like we've been having. Also have smart landing pads for track and field events like the long jump and the triple jump. It would be pressure sensor mats laid under the sand, because you know a lot of people have problems with the distance when jumpers jump into the pit. I personally have experience when I did the OBC championships here. So that would limit all the confusion on where athletes actually placed. You would be able to know exactly where they were from the first then we also have retractable diving boards that could retract up to 3 feet. So divers would be in such danger of like hitting their head when they jump off, because I think it's back in 2006, but they're actually hit their head on the diving board in a competition.
So Marcus, you're kind of following FIFA's lead with goal line technology and the soccer competitions? Okay.
That is big, like the videos we watch. You know, you seen one that was clearly a goal and it didn't get called, and the one was very close and they didn't get goal in, so it decides matches. My Olympic Village, you know, it's already there, like we've been saying since we have the Olympic 360, but we would renovate it and, you know, let it be totally modernized with a new fresh look.
That village, it hasn't been assumed by other residents during the last 60 years, or what is it being used for now?
It has been assumed by other residents, but we could move them someplace else, not just give them money and, oh, we gotta find your stuff. We would actually build something up for them, just so they wouldn't have to worry about whether they're staying or not.
It's close to that stadium? Close to that stadium?
We good to close to the stadium?
Or is it already close to that stadium?
It's already close to the stadium.
Okay.
This is like their rooms, the bathrooms, and what it would look like once we build it up. It would accommodate for 10,000 athletes, you know, be filled with energy saving equipment, that way we could lower the cost on the fields, because everybody's getting green, so too. Lavish with the open field, and it's in close proximity with all the tourist attractions, so you wouldn't have to go too far to, you know, if you wanted to hang out with your family and just get away from competition sometime. These are some of the transportations they have. You see, they have a bus system. They have the train system that operates on top of the ground. They also have underground train systems. There's 4 lines currently right now that travel throughout the entire city, and there's another one being built. You can rent cars, you can rent bikes, but the number one method for transportation in Rome is for walking. The way you can get a feel of how Rome, you know, to be in Rome. We also have the Fiumicino Airport. That's our #1 international airport. And they just served 36.1 million passengers last year. And we also have the Cipriano Pastine International Airport. That gives the athletes 2 different airports to fly into, just in case they don't want to be just surrounded and flooded with tourists and fans who want to get the autographs all the time. They can just come in and get to their Olympic Village. We also have taxis too, so you have plenty of methods for transportation.
So why not Rome? We have a great tourist attraction, plus the Olympics, we have venues, we have everything. It wouldn't be terribly expensive to host us. We're just a great city in general with lots of tourist attractions. We have tourist people always coming around, so why not Rome?
In Rome, do it for Rome.
Let's give him a hand. Matt, 14 billion euros is a little chunk of change to make it happen in Rome, but all right, students,